order. Today's December 2nd, 2019, 6:45. And this is the overview of the proposed village budget for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, for the calendar year beginning January 1st, 2020, and ending December 31st, 2020. We'll turn it over to Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, the hearing this evening is for the proposed budget, which commences on January 1st, 2020, terminating December 31st, 2020. The budget has been on file here at the Village Hall and on our website. A budget presentation was formally held on November 25th of this year. And so tonight is the public hearing, and then followed later on this evening during the formal agenda will be the first official reading of the adoption ordinance, followed by the second reading on December 16th. And if approved, obviously, January 1st will implement the proposed budget. Director Wachtel, what would you like to add?
Well, tonight it is a public hearing, so this is the opportunity for public, in addition to all the meetings that we've had for discussion at public board meetings, but this is the technical or the legal requirement to have a public hearing. It was published in the newspaper about 10 days ago, and so tonight is the public hearing, and as Manager Keener mentioned, there will be a first reading tonight and adoption later on at the second meeting in December. So we have had the budget out and available. It's been on our website. It's been available for public inspection, not only in the Village Hall lobby, but it's also been available at the library for since November 11th, so people could review the budget that was prepared and that we discussed a couple weeks ago, or last week, at our budget workshop last Monday. So with that, we will leave it up for public comment.
Okay. Does anyone from the public have any comments on the proposed budget? Okay, just come up to the mic, state your name, please, for the record.
Mike Orlowski in Villa Park. I haven't had time to look at the budget. Last year I made a mistake. I've come in front of you again asking about my street. Last year I didn't ask if my street was included in last year's budget. It was supposed to be done this year, but it didn't make the budget. So now we have a budget meeting. I'd like to know if my street's included on the budget for next year.
I believe I saw your street on the budget in the capital plan.
So does that mean it's going to be done?
I believe this year you should see your street done.
Okay.
I think we're doing the engineering now, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So,
That was my only question.
okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else from the public? Any board members? Trustee Tucker.
The figures you gave us last Monday, are those updated on the budget sheet?
No, the first reading of the ordinance tonight has the budget before we had that. I had to submit that before we had that meeting. So there were a few changes that I mentioned during that meeting. I will incorporate those before the final adoption for the second reading of the adoption. There were a couple minor adjustments as we discussed, but those are the only changes that will be contemplated from now until then.
Now
unless the
until
board
then, so they'll
directs
be
otherwise.
updated by the second?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Trustee Wagner.
Thank you. In the narrative, it's in the budget, it references that there are some items that are going to be pursued as it pertains to the bike and pedestrian plan. Just in broad terms, can we describe which items will be taken care of?
That's a very good question, Trustee Wagner. Staff, and over the last probably 18 months or so, we've tried to accomplish the low-hanging fruit, which in my mind is signage on the Prairie Path and throughout other areas, including the lighted signs that we put on the Illinois Prairie Path, and especially right here at Ardmore and the Prairie Path, as we can see that it's lighted as we drive by. the staff and I recently talked about doing additional signing on the Illinois Prairie Path and trying to make the adjustments where the path would meet the stop sign so it's much safer. And right now, that's our discussion so far. But Director Burke and myself will be talking about the rest of the plan this week.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, seeing no one else from the public have any comments, I'd like to have the clerk have the record show that all trustees were present, and I need a motion to adjourn. Trustee Kazone,
President, I'll make that motion.
Trustee Wager,
I'll second the motion.
okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
With that, we're adjourned. We'll be back at 7 o'clock with our regular meeting.